Sacred body, sacred mind. Io slipam. Randomly selected questions that I feel will help anyone who desires to know me. They can know me. Cause I ain't hiding nothing, shouted. Nothing. Let's begin. The first question is, how do you drink your coffee? Black. Honestly, fresh, black, and hot. That's it. Okay, number 2, do you like or dislike surprises? Why or why not? I think I like surprises. I don't dislike them. Why do I like them? I guess you kind of get to see like what people really think about you, or like how well they know you, or how well they understand your connection and like the relationship that you share. Because whatever the surprise is obviously gonna be like based on their kind of interpretation of what matters and what's important to you or to your connection. So yeah. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why? I think I would rather work at the perfect job. Or should I win the lottery? I mean, I guess I take it back. I think I would rather win the lottery. Because who's to say that I can't create the perfect job with whatever it is that I win from the lottery? Oh, they didn't say it was a money lottery though. I just made this question so much more complicated. I guess I'm gonna go with my first answer, okay? First instinct, and that is perfect job. Would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Alaska, and why? I want to say Hawaii because I haven't been to Hawaii and it just looks so beautiful. It looks very peaceful. Who would you want to be stranded with on a deserted island? My first instinct is to say no one, really. I quite enjoy being a loner sometimes, so yeah. What 3 items would you take with you on a deserted island? A mirror, a deck of tarot cards, and a journal. Yeah. If money was no object, what would you do all day? I'm gonna assume like if you could do anything and you didn't need money, like that's the thing. I would probably go like mountain hiking and like go through the mountains all day and just see what's up there. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? 2000, and just see what like culture was like how did it feel energetically, like just the space and time of going from like the 1900s into 2000. Like I just wonder what like mental shift did people have to go through. Because I was born 2001, so I just wonder, what are your hobbies? I write poetry and sometimes I turn them into songs. What else do I do? My spiritual work kind of requires me to do a lot of like sketching of like abstract concepts, so I do a lot of that. Aside from necessities, what one thing could you not go a day without? My tarot cards. Not one day, no. Those are my babies. What's your favorite zoo animal? I wanted to say zebra, but I don't think zebras are in the zoo. But I haven't been to the zoo in years, so honestly I don't know. I don't even remember what's at the zoo. It's been so long. If you could share a meal with any 4 individuals, living or dead, who would they be? Albert Einstein is one. Miley Cyrus, J. Cole, and someone kind of out of the box, like Tyler the Creator. Let's feast, guys. How many pillows do you sleep with? One or none? How often do you buy clothes? For myself, not that often, honestly. A lot of my clothes are gifted to me because I don't really buy things. I don't have a job and I don't like do any work that would require or like that allows me to have a source of income. And I do that for a lot of personal reasons. One is that it keeps me sane, and just being in public for too long. And like obviously I know that there are ways to make money from home, but the religion, I'm putting quotation marks because I don't want to put myself in a box or like make it as though I conform to like a system of faith that is kind of globalized, but I have my own set of beliefs that are technically my religion, and one of them doesn't, there are certain things that I can and cannot do. I like to be faithful to those things that sustain my sanity and connection to my faith and my religion. Have you ever had a secret admirer, or have you ever been a secret admirer? Have I ever had a secret admirer? Probably. Have I ever been a secret admirer? Yes, but I don't think I've ever like acted on it to like define myself as their admirer in secret, or to like let them know that somebody's admiring them. I just do it from afar, if I'm being honest. Like I'm not really a shoot my shot type of girl until I am. What's the last thing you recorded on TV? I want to say like either The Grinch or like a Disney Channel show like Gravity Falls, because they had like a marathon or something and it's like my favorite. Probably at a time where I didn't have Disney Plus. What was the last book you bought? The last book I bought was called The Antichrist. It was a time in my life where I was kind of studying the beliefs of the Antichrist because, you know, I'm a student of the universe. So whatever my higher self kind of guides onto my path, I just allow myself to explore, because it'll help me understand who I am and where I am on my journey. I study a lot of different religions, a lot of different everything, so if you look on my page and you see me talk about this thing and it may contradict this thing or that thing or whatever, just know like I technically am a follower of all religions, but like from a very detached perspective, more so that like I follow a path that sort of I don't remember exactly like what I was saying, but I know I was saying that like my practice of spirituality kind of guides me onto sort of seeing every religion as the expression of a greater mind, and just the fact that there are infinite sets of belief in infinite faiths, you know, infinite gods, infinite ways of seeing life, and it just helps me understand the world I live in. So I don't know how we got there. Oh, I wanted to explain why it may seem like I'm all over the place, but I'm really not. Okay, what's your favorite type of foreign food? I actually researched for this, and my favorite type of foreign food is Mediterranean. I love Mediterranean food, man. I don't really think there's any food better. I would love to like travel along the like Mediterranean area and just like exist for like some years, you know. That would be cool. What's your favorite fast food chain? I don't really eat fast food, but like in theory, let's redefine fast food. Let's just call it a place where like you can go in and like order food and get it in less than like 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. My favorite fast food with that definition would be Sweetgreen. They are super, super delicious. Do you love or hate roller coasters? I love roller coasters. Is your glass half full or half empty? This is where my personality really jumps out. I'm the kind of person that chooses not to determine either whether the glass is half full or half empty, but to kind of like just be aware of the fact that there's a glass with water in it. I've learned to not take my own perspective as reality. So because like when you really think about it, you know, whether the glass is half full or whether you come to the conclusion that the glass is half full or half empty, that's still your perspective, but that's not reality. The reality is the fact that there is a glass with water in it. And I think that for me, that's sanity, you know, because then it prevents me from determining, you know, its worth there. Your perception is your worth. And especially that worth doesn't just happen when we're looking in the mirror. It happens with all, you know, and even though I'm like making this much deeper, but I just want to communicate my depth of understanding, because like I'm not gonna determine whether the glass is half full or half empty, because at the end of the day that glass is me. And that's like, am I half full? Am I half empty? Like, that's the real question. And that's how I like to see it. And I think that I prefer to live my life that way, not making my own perspective what I define as reality, and just letting a greater mind do that, or letting other people do that. What's the craziest thing you've done in the name of love? Be rejected on purpose. Get rejected on purpose. The name of the love is self. That's why. It's really interesting because like when I was doing what I was doing, which is like kind of confessing true love, you know, to someone. And that's the thing, I don't really believe that true love is really an external experience, like something that you can like create necessarily through the force of another. So I was kind of expressing true love because the love that I felt was true. And I ended up getting rejected really, really bad, because this person just didn't want me. They didn't want me in their life. They didn't want any of those things. But what I found so intriguing about it was that I ended up being more in love with myself and my own heart, and like ended up healing, you know, a lot of past trauma that I felt like I had experienced with that person. And it was just a really freeing experience, if I'm being honest. So a lot of the crazy things that I do are in the name of self-love, you know, and it's always because what the love that I feel is true, so I express it. And you know, if a person doesn't love you as truthfully as you love them, then I mean you're gonna be met with some kind of rejection, you know. But in all of those instances, I just find that somehow the love recycles and it comes right back into me. It's like the love that I expressed, it comes back in like 10 times greater than what I expressed it as. What was your favorite subject in school? Math. What's the most unusual thing you've ever eaten? Oh, I made, just because I wanted to see like what it would taste like, I made lasagna. And like instead of just doing all like tomato sauce, tomato base, I did like layer of like tomato, then Alfredo, then tomato, then Alfredo. Which is really weird, but it ended up being good. Like, it ended up actually tasting like I would make it again at some point in time, because I actually enjoyed it. It was a nice experiment, I guess. Do you collect anything? I don't think so. I'm not really a material girl. So no, I don't think I collect anything. Yo, a voice in my head literally said like pictures of Shawn Mendes. I'm not gonna lie, that is true. I literally have a picture of him with me. I don't know if that's weird, but like, I do technically, I collect pictures of Shawn Mendes because I'm secretly a stan. Like secretly, like actually though. But I keep it under wraps, you know? Like, I'm not exerting my stan behavior, but I allow myself to express it in private so that I can observe it and not like project that energy outwards towards him. But I'm definitely a Shawn Mendes stan, so I would say, I guess, yeah, pictures of Shawn. Fine, I'll admit it. Is there anything you wish would come back into fashion? Wearing whatever you want. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I think I'm an introvert, but I think there are versions of me that have extroverted qualities. My beliefs sometimes can cause my personality to be all-encompassing. I guess I'm kind of a mixture of a little bit of everything. Which of the 5 senses would you say is your strongest? I think my strongest sense is psychic. Are you related or distantly related to anyone famous? The answer that like I thought of when I put this question on here, and it made me laugh, was Jesus Christ. But no, I'm not. I don't think so. If I am, then like, okay, cool. What do you do to keep fit? Extreme inaction. And I'm not joking, although I am laughing. That is a serious answer. The practice of inaction is an extreme sport. Like, it really requires a lot of mental, spiritual, and emotional like power and strength to keep your body like from acting and allowing a greater force to move through you. That takes a lot of power. Okay, if you were ruler of your own country, what would be the first law you would introduce? Cause and effect. Literally, like nature's law. That would be the first one. What 3 things do you think of the most each day? I think about the universe. I think about life and death. Those are 3 things I think about the most each day. Like, I contemplate on those concepts the most. If you had a warning label, what would yours say? Contents inside a package may alter in shape, substance, and color once taken out. So just beware, okay, that anything can happen. What celebrity would you like to meet at Starbucks for a cup of coffee? I think I would like to meet Shawn Mendes. You know, think it would be cool. See what he's up to in his life, you know. See what kind of guy he is outside of music and like being Shawn Mendes, you know. Like, I just wonder what he's like in normal conversation. But maybe that's just the fangirl in me. Who was your first crush? I was, I think, in like kindergarten. And I don't even remember his name. On a scale of 1 to 10, how funny would you say you are? When I put this question on here, the first answer that came to mind was 6. I say I'm a 6. Simply because I'm very sarcastic when I'm being funny and very dry. Like, it's dry sarcasm. So you may find it funny or you may think I'm serious. So, and then if you do think I'm serious, you might think that like I'm dark. And a lot of the times if you do think I'm funny, I'm not being funny. I think I'm just being serious. But I'm joking at the same time. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? How old would I be? Well, I'm 20 right now, but I'm turning 21 this year. But like 10 years from today, I'll be 30. And where do I want to be when I'm 30? I want to be a mom. Like, that's where I see myself. Like, having children. I don't know how many, however many I have. But like, I totally see myself being a mom, having a family, and like us just exploring what is possible in the world. Like that going on like family trips and just doing all those fun things. So yeah, I foresee motherhood in my future. What was your first job? I worked at this place called Hot Dogs and Fries. And it was literally a place that was like based around hot dogs. If you could join any past or current music group, which would you join? The Cheetah Girls. I would totally get Cheetah-licious. Who is the most intelligent person you know? I'm gonna say the father of time. And some may say he's not a real person. That's just because you never met him. What is one thing you will never do again? Probably vote for president. If I'm being honest. But I don't really like saying never. Because within the time span of never, there is ever, which is a possibility that it could happen again. But I don't think I will, just because I don't want to. If you could completely get rid of 1 month out of the year, which month would it be and why? My first instinct is to say February, because I think it'll cause the black race to create a different history, a new storyline, instead of conforming to this 1 month and allowing that to be the time that we give value to our accomplishments, but like actually take and harness the power from those accomplishments and create a new history so that we could have a different future. Did your parents have alternative name options that they were considering when naming you? What were they? I was told that I was gonna be named Aaliyah, but I love my name. It's Amina. My name is Amina, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. If your hometown was a food, what would it be? A chicken wing dipped in mumbo sauce. Like, that would be the food. But like, it has to be dipped. What's your go-to dance move? Maybe like a body roll. I'm like a body roll type of girl, like a hip wine. Like this kind of girl, whatever that is, like body type of thing. Whatever that is. What would be the silliest feature of your dream house? Oh, like a room of mirrors. Like the floor is a mirror, the walls are mirrors, the ceiling is mirror. Like it would literally be a room that's just mirrors for educational and ritualistic purposes. If you could start a club for something silly, what would your club be about? I don't think I would start a club for something silly. I kind of want to change the mood of this question and make it like just a regular club. I think I would start a club that would bring awareness to the limiting beliefs about mental disorders and personality disorders, like overcoming the stigmas surrounding those topics. What one superpower would you give to everyone in the world? How would the world change? Oh, I said empathy. I would give everyone empathy. And how would the world change? People would be less likely to be self-destructive and judgmental. The death rate would drastically, like, I think the self-harm and like rates of homicide would drastically decrease, because I think people would be more willing to see their reflection in another and also have an open perspective when determining their own worth. Like determining their own worth within and also in comparison to others. I think the empathy would kind of lessen the amount of insufficiency and like incompetency that people discover within themselves, because they'll be willing to like give themselves a break, you know? Like the empathy doesn't just extend to the outward world, but it will also be an internal process that I think would really allow people to discover, like I said, worth and who they are as an individual. What fictional character would you be best friends with in real life? The answer that I came up with for this was Franklin. He's like a turtle. I used to love watching shows like Little Bear and like Franklin when I was younger. I liked all the quiet kid shows. If you could interview a celebrity and ask them one question, who would you ask and what would you say? Since we're on this like Shawn Mendes streak, I guess I would ask him. I think I would say like, if your happiness could be a color, what would you choose? Like, what would it be? And like every time you saw that color, you would be happy. Like just naturally, you would just be happy. Like true, genuine happiness. Just because you saw this color. Like if that was a thing, what color would you choose? Just see what it says. Maybe it'll work. If you had to make a house out of food, what kind of food would it be? Pasta. I would choose pasta. All different kind of pasta, noodles, spaghetti noodles, lasagna, noodles, fettuccine, and like, you know, all those, and just, it would be so cool. Like, if you ran for president, what would your campaign slogan be? This is the moment of truth. Yep. And like every speech I would do, at the end I would just say, like, no matter what the last sentence is, I would just say, because this is the moment of truth. And that would be my slogan. Do you believe aliens exist? If so, what are they like? Me. What one story about your childhood best explains the person you are today? Okay, so it's when Pink Friday first came out. I had asked my mom's boyfriend at the time to get me, like, if he could get me it. He was like, okay, I think. And then when he gave it to me, mind you, I was like 8 years old, because I remember I was in the 3rd grade, and he got it for me. And when he gave it to me, he was like, if you don't know all the words on this CD by tomorrow, I'm gonna take it from you. And I was like, so literally I stayed up all night and I studied every single song on Pink Friday. And it was at a time in my life where I didn't like know the internet, so I didn't know how to look up lyrics or any of those things. So I had to like sit and listen to a little bit, memorize it, go back, listen to it again, go back, memorize it, do all of that over and over and over again for every single song, like all night. And then I was upset because by the like that takes time, and I remember having like a few songs left on the album that I didn't get to memorize. And I remember the next day came and he didn't say anything. He didn't bring up the album. He didn't ask me if I knew any of the songs. He didn't say anything. Then the next day came, he didn't say anything. And I was just thinking like, I did all of that. I got all these songs memorized in my head. I basically became Nicki Minaj overnight. And this man he's not even saying anything. And I feel like that really kind of prepared me for where I am right now, because I feel as though like the lesson there was that sometimes I feel like you'll be asked to do things and there won't be any real material gain, you know, or like material satisfaction, but just the fact that you have acquired a skill. And I feel like in that moment, I literally learned Nicki's flow, I learned her lyrics, I learned a lot about how rapping worked, you know, like I studied rap literally through Nicki, and I feel like that really helped me get to where I am right now. And not even just like with my own music, but with my own like practice of spirituality. You know, there are a lot of things that I am called to do and called to express, but I don't experience any, you know, real outcome other than the fact that I have acquired and gained knowledge and experience. What's the most awkward date you've ever been on? See, when I first looked at this question, I was like, I kind of think all of my dates were awkward. But that's because when I was in high school, I never picked my people. They always picked me. But I've never like formally, I feel like, been asked on a date. And if I have, then it was probably awkward. If you could change the ending of any famous movie, which movie would it be? What would your new ending be? Honestly, like Romeo and Juliet, I probably would have them live forever. Or like the Titanic, I would like have Jack like still be like barely living when they like came around with the whistles. No, she had the whistle, but like when they were coming around and like looking for people, like he would still barely be alive, but alive though, because I'm just like star-crossed lovers, you know. We gotta put that to an end. What word do you always mispronounce? T-A-O. And I do it intentionally. It is actually pronounced, Google pronounces it like this.
Dow.
Dow. That's how Google pronounces it. But when I try to like make my tongue conform to a specific pronunciation of the word, it doesn't resonate anymore. And I feel as though my higher self is kind of like has like guided me to the perception of like myself that just allows me to be okay with how my tongue pronounces things, especially the word T-A-O. I just say Dao because that's how it comes off naturally, and it makes me feel more aligned because I think words are infinite. If you could only wear one color for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Probably black. What are your favorite songs from your teenage years that you still rock out to when nobody else is listening? I go down like Miley Cyrus black holes from time to time and just listen to all the old Miley and Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato. I really loved the music that like Disney, a lot of the songs they were writing in the era were like Miley and Selena and Demi were all like Disney freaking gods, goddesses, are just so pure, like they're so good. Who was your childhood actor slash actress crush? For a really long time in my life, it was Trevor Jackson. Yeah. What's the craziest dare you ever took? I was at this like party. I don't know. It was like a gathering, I think, more so. And the dare was that I had to like run up the stairs and back down without a shirt on. So I did it. What's the worst thing you ever did as a kid and got away with? The worst thing I ever did as a kid? Oh, when I was younger, I love really hard, okay? And a lot of who you are as a child and the way you react, like the way you respond to situations and like even in your personal like relationships as a child are based on the way you were raised and the way that you've seen like your parents and your relatives or your guardians communicate, right? And the way that they act and the way they react. And for me, I went through this like very short period in my life where I was getting my heart broken a lot. And I was really young though. I was like 9. I was like 9 or like 8, and I would like catfish like the people who broke my heart and then like make them fall in love with that person and then like break their heart. Not something that I'm proud of, but like I was hurt, really hurt at that time, and I didn't really have well like grounded examples of how to react when things don't go your way or when relationships end, you know. That's kind of like something that I feel like I've been learning as I get older. So yeah, I haven't done that since I was little, like tiny. And I had no idea what love was really. I didn't even know who I was or what anything ever, okay, what feelings were. But I knew that I had seen people get revenge before, and I thought it would make you feel good, but you just end up feeling really shitty about yourself. What was the first concert you ever went to? Mindless Behavior. What was your first record, tape, or CD that you ever owned? Technically, it was 7 by Tiana Taylor. And when that came out, I was like 13 or 14. Like it was the first record that I was like old enough to say like I want this, like I want to have this in my possession, like yeah. Have you ever gotten super lost? What happened? Yes, but like not literally, kind of mentally, and like just in general. I felt like a lost soul before. I was walking. It was a really, really hot day, and when I went out, it was so beautiful, and like you wouldn't have thought that it was gonna rain. But I walked, okay, which means I had to walk back to the place that I came. And when I was walking, it started pouring raining. Like I literally felt like the sky was falling, but it was raining so hard, and I couldn't see. see like the world. All I could see was just raindrops falling, and if you looked up, the sky looked like it was coming at you, and I didn't know what to do or where to go. I literally felt so lost in space and time, and I really had to like be still, because the way that I was walking, it was like in a field, and when you're in a field, it just is already kind of a vacant space, and the world felt vacant when it was raining, and it was an otherworldly experience, really. But yeah, and I ended up getting super soaked, and I walked all the way home in the rain because I realized that we were one and that in some way the rain was helping me find whatever subconsciously I needed to discover about myself. And by the time I got home, I really do think I found it. So I just surrendered to the experience, basically. What's the story of your first relationship? Very high expectations for a very underdeveloped experience of having romantic feelings for someone, you know? Like the connection itself, I feel like was very underdeveloped, but there was a lot of expectations there, and it was a very on and off thing for like years, really, and it should have ended at some point. But eventually it did, and yeah, I kind of learned that you can't expect anyone to make you happy, and not everyone who loves you wants to. What after school activity did you quit as a kid, and why? Basketball, actually. I played basketball for like a few years, and then I stopped because I got tired of it. I didn't even want, like, I had no motivation. But that's because me playing basketball in general was kind of like forced, because when I was younger, I was always like one of the most tall kids in my class. Now I'm kind of like, I guess I would be a little bit above average, like in terms of height. I'm 5'7", almost 5'8", I guess. But when I was younger, I was already kind of like reaching growth spurts, and everyone else in my grade was kind of shorter than me. But because of that, people always thought I was just gonna be like so tall and become this WNBA player. And the entire time I didn't even want to play basketball, I wanted to play volleyball. But I kept going with it, and eventually I got old enough to say like, hey, I don't want to do this. So what's the craziest thing on your bucket list? I actually want to visit every single country, like every single one, if that's possible. But I feel like it is. If I can say it, like if I can think it, then obviously somebody somewhere has done it. What are 2 truths and a lie about you? I've only changed my hair color twice. I got bangs cut when I was in the 3rd grade. My favorite kind of pasta is spaghetti. What show on Netflix did you binge watch embarrassingly fast? I'm gonna say The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I watched that really quick. Like, it was so good, and I don't think they're doing any more seasons, but it was really good. Which celebrity do you shamelessly follow on the news? I don't pay attention to the news really at all. But if I do happen to like want to know what somebody's up to, it's Shawn Mendes. Yeah, I'll just like type his name on Google and just see like what he's been up to. Been like, I like to limit the amount of times that I do that, and like I don't really do it in a way where like really I want to be nosy. I just kind of want to like make sure he's still living. Like, that's kind of it. What is your favorite smell and why? Okay, I don't know if it's the like liquid that's put into the air conditioning to like make it cold, but there's a particular smell, like when you get into a car and you like first turn on the air conditioning and like it has a scent, but it kind of smells like car but like air at the same time. I don't know, it's just really, I don't know why I like it really, it just, I don't know. And it's my favorite because you can't like, really I only experience it when I'm inside of a car, and some people don't know what I'm talking about, but like, because like eventually it'll go away and the air will start to just smell like air, but there is a point where it'll like have this particular scent, and for some reason I love it. What food could you not live without? Bananas. What interesting skill do you want to learn? I want to learn how to play the guitar. What's the most random thing in your purse/wallet? Well, in my bag. The most random thing, probably limes. Like, I just have a bag of limes that I carry with me. Because, I mean, you can use them for anything. What invention do you think will be popular in 20 years? Sunglasses. And they may not even just be sunglasses, but they'll be like a pair of glasses, right? That when you put them on, they'll be like connected to all of the like streaming services and like platforms, and like you'll be able to like press a button on the side to like go forward or go back. It's like, imagine like the buttons on your TV that are like very limited, and they kind of allow you to do like what's necessary, like that, but on the side of the glasses, and like you can press and like see whatever you want to do and it'll play like in the glasses. And when people like look at you, they may not see anything at all, but on the inside you're like literally in a movie theater. And eventually somebody will connect like phone service to it too, and like people will be able to like talk and like have FaceTime through their glasses and all that stuff. If you were famous, what would you be famous for? Probably having an unconventional perspective on love. Not even just like a singular type of love, but like true love, self-love, world love, you know, all different kinds of love. Just love as a force, what it is capable of achieving, and you know, just everything that I've discovered about it. I think that would be what people know me for. If you could only wear one type of shoes for the rest of your life, what type of shoes would they be? Sandals. I would wear sandals because they're the most like natural to me. Like, instead of a tennis shoe, I would kind of want a sandal. If you had lots of money, what unnecessary thing would you splurge on? I think I would splurge on like hiking material. Like hikes, whatever you need to go on a hike, like mountain bikes maybe, and like, I don't know, supplies. Now just get a whole bunch of it and just go hiking everywhere. If you could eliminate one food so that no one would eat it ever again, what would you pick to destroy? Chitterlings. Chitterlings, yes. Some people call them chitlins, but chitterlings, yes, I would get rid of those. No, do not digest that, please. If you were a vegetable, what would you be? My first instinct was to say cauliflower. If you were trying out for a singing reality show, what song would you sing? I probably wouldn't sing, actually. I'd probably rap. like Eminem. Yeah. Which Eminem song? I would either rap Who Knew by Eminem or like Kim by Eminem and just see what they would say. They'd probably be afraid of me. This is what I look like in real life. Okay. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.